Hello, folks. How you all doing today? Now, today, folks, I'd like to talk about the basics, um, the fundamentals. You really can never hammer the fundamentals too often. That's a good rule in life with anything. People say, a lot of people get mad at this sort of thing. We think I'm stupid. We don't. Perhaps I've forgotten. You see, fundamentals can never be hammered enough. It's the truth with anything, whether it's a baseball game or chess or you know, basic worldviews or understandings or logical systems or whatever. Understanding the fundamental rules or the fundamental concepts that are at play is the way to having better skill, a better ability, better results from whatever it is you're doing. This is a belief I have, actually, and it tends to work out pretty well as far as I can determine. Pretty well indeed, actually, as far as I'm able to divine things. So, with that in mind, the fundamentals of the how should we're going to put this the nationalist or far right wing or populist even populist or proto nationalist uh, worldview. Okay, from my from my conception of it at least. Since I'm not some pope, and that is that just isn't how that works. Now, I figure that the most simple place to start is at the beginning. Okay? Now, there are two ways we can start out. We can start out with one person or a group of people. Seems pretty easy, doesn't it? Now, if we have one person, we have no economy, we have no society, and there is no politics in a group of one. None. Zero. There can't be. By nature, these are group activities. Um, if we're going to go with, say, the biblical narrative, and there's an Adam alone, and then there's an Eve, really nothing actually starts happening, though, until they get kicked out of the garden, and there's a mother and a father and a child, and then Adam has to work, and Eve takes care of home, right? And in the normal order of things, outside of special creation, because none of us are Adam, that's just reality, um, all of us have a father somewhere, whether he's in the home or out of the home or dead or gone or whatever. We have a father. I mean, Jesus even had a father. You know what I'm trying to say? Okay, all right. And there's a mother, a woman that gives birth to you. Now she may be gone, dead, or whatever, but you have them. There's a mother and a father and a you. Correct? Everyone with me so far? It seems really simple to me. And because these two people, being, you come about. Therefore, family, therefore you, therefore family seems to be the basis for you, since all of you, and myself included, are interchangeable in this way. In this way. Now, I didn't say in every way at all. That's no. I don't believe in anything like universal equality. At any route, because we have at least this much commonality, we can say safely that we all come from a family. Okay. Now, it seems to me, once I've determined where we come from, now where does this unit that we come from, what does this unit we come from require? What is it, what is the necessaries for this unit to exist? Well, we have to have food. There's a certain caloric intake that's just needed, or people die. There's a certain amount of clothing that's needed. So clothing is needed. And some kind of shelter, basically, to sleep in at night. I mean, it seems, keep the wolves, as it were, off of you, even though there aren't many wolves left in our people's lands anymore. But, right, the idea nevertheless remains. You don't want to be out at night. Now, so we need these, and then it comes down to what is necessary to get these things. Well, it seems that it has always worked best that in the natural order of things, families really don't come as one unit. There's usually several of them together, and this is normally your smallest breeding group of humans. We'll call it 5 or 6 families. Okay, perhaps 20. This is, you know, about your normal range of sizes through human history. Okay, this is what we actually observe. Now, it would seem that in human history, what has normally happened is the men banded together, went and did the large hunting, sort of labor-intensive projects that were necessary beyond just hunting, building new buildings, all these sorts of things, right? Okay, of course, because men have more muscle power. That's just, I mean, what do you want me to say? We run faster, we're stronger, but and the woman stays home. The women stayed near the homes, not at home, not like locked in the home like some kind of Islamic society, but near the homes where basically, if they had to, they could all fall back into the home, a cave, wall, perimeter, set a village, cobbles, whatever, right? And use those as a defensive place, as well as basically tend to them, and the children, according to their age, were either just looked after or basically helped in. And men, children gradually broke off with the men, and women, children. I mean, this is really simple Simon stuff, but because our societies went so far off the rails on this on this most fundamental division of labor in nature. I mean, there's a reason why I'm developed the way I am and have facial hair, and girls aren't. Okay, and it's not a choice, and it's a biological reality. Girls do better taking care of home and children than men do overall, on average, for sure. It doesn't say men don't like children. I like children. Children like playing peekaboo with me and all that. I mean, come on. Kids actually like me. We're more than most adults. But I'm not a good nurturer. You know what I mean? I'm a better provider. I go out and I find things and think, oh, okay, what do these kids need physically? Not, oh, how's their little heart doing? That's just not a concern of mine. Okay? I have other things that I'm wired to do. And girls have things they're wired to do. And again, most men, I think, are very much like me in this way. I think if we're being honest, this is just how it is, It's not sexism, it's not genderism, it's just reality. But so here we are with this, and then you know from there really the rest of it falls into line. In a modern society, it doesn't seem very hard. Okay, basically it means every loyal citizen's family should have a home. The citizens require some kind of job because instinctually men are wired to want to go out in groups and do things that are useful. And if you provide them the ability to do this, they'll be happy. And I don't mean happy like in the liberal sense. I mean instinctually, at a gut level, naturally content. This is a completely different thing. One's transient and one is a status that exists within inside of a person in a calming way. Okay? You see? They're totally different. And again, if you go to where like these Amish girls are that have like 90 children and people, oh, that's so horrible. Talk with them. I've actually been out with them, and they're some of the most cool, laid back, casual girls on the planet Earth. They like being where they're at. They're content with their life. They're happy. They're centered on themselves. You see, instead of being all empty like people are now. And the reason I say because this is because people have taken these basic roles, this basic idea that we need a mother and a father to come in the earth and create it into some kind of, I call it the atomic individual, the magic individual, the person who floated down from heaven with all the rights that Thomas Jefferson gave him, right? No such person ever existed, for God's sakes. Just never existed. Every person that's come here since at least Adam, okay, since at least Cain and Abel, all right, were, and there it is, that's just how it, you know, and for that to work out on a long-term scale, there's just certain nature over time. God said, these design characteristics, these are, these work better. Now, here's the one thing that you girls can do that no man will ever be able to do, and it's give birth to living children. Okay? And that's like the most important job in the entire world if we want to start assigning things as jobs. Okay? Since, again, this whole society exists so that females can give birth to children and the children can be safe and brought up to be men. Or you see how this, to me it just doesn't seem very complex, right? Now, of course, oh, you hate women because why? Because I understand that it's more important to have 6 or 8 children and be at home raising them with proper morals than it is to be playing CEO of some company. Those CEO girls are going to be dead. Their genetics will be gone forever. Those Pennsylvania Dutch girls and those Utah Mormons, the fundamentalist Mormons, their genes will exist for centuries. For centuries they will exist. You know? I mean, we have weighed your words and found them wanting. Life, you know? And that's, I guess that's the fundamentals of my worldview right there. We all come from a family, and there's a natural biological division of labor. It's simply not worth arguing about. It just is. You know what I'm saying? And part of the great subversion of our modern society is that we attempt to ignore this division of labor and create these artificial categories of, well, I choose to be a fish that's also a cat, and that's a rat and a dog and a bird too. Can I be a kangaroo tossed down on top of that? I mean, just see, it's absurd, folks. Okay. Frankly, all of that's a mental insanity. And again, that same fruitcake Freudian nonsense is used to push that insanity on us. If you are afraid, if you accept the insanity, no, I'm sane because I reject the insanity. Do you see? Right? It's an attempt to make you say 2 plus 2 is 5, kind of a deal, you know. And I won't do it. So with that, folks, you have some kind of an insight into my worldview. And those of you hardcore leftist social justice warriors who are offended, you have every right to and go away from me with your yap.